Hello everyone, my name's Walter, and it's been a little while, but I'm back again and ready to talk about some people on the internet. We have Lucas Werner content coming up this week, actually, but first let's get back into the swing of things by talking about nice guys again. Nice guys are those chivalrous paragons of the community who would do anything to make a lady smile. But if that's all they get, then it means she was just leading them on. It turns out they had ulterior motives, go figure. Anyway, get ready for lots of gifts and questionable dating tactics as we talk about more Reddit nice guys. Our first story today is utterly puzzling to me and comes to us from Reddit Nice Guy Stories, a very tiny subreddit that Q-Star and I have shouted out a few times in the hopes more people would use it. So feel free to use it, and we might cover posts later. We'll see. Let's begin. 19-year-old constantly hits on me. Context: I, 17 female, joined a local bowling league when I was 14 with my friend. Over the summer, a 19-year-old guy, who we'll call Mike, in that league found my Instagram. No idea how, should have been a red flag, but I'm dense, and started messaging me. Innocent stuff at first, just him asking if I would be at bowling and making jokes, but we didn't really talk much in person. After about a week or so, he tried to set me up with his bowling partner, a guy I knew from school. I said no, and Mike was persistent that I should try it. I declined again and told him that I'm a lesbian, which is true. Mike then told me he liked me and asked if I would date him instead. At this point I'm thinking, what the fuck, I just told you I'm gay. I didn't want to be rude, so I repeated what I said before and mentioned that even if I wasn't, he's 19 and at the time I was 16. He kept asking why and saying he was a nice guy, I should be more open-minded, etc. My favorite phrase he said was, all the hot girls are gay or want someone who won't treat them well and nice guys like me die alone. I honestly don't think you could come up with a more stereotypical nice guy statement if you tried. I can even get like being pissed one time and ending up posting something like this, but you'd think he'd notice how stupid it sounded while actually saying it. Over time, Mike kept bringing my sexuality up. Talking with him became a chore, and each weekend I'd hope my bowling lane would be far away from him so I could go, bowl, and escape without talking to him. He kept asking if I'd ever tried a guy, and how did I know if I didn't try one? Yeah, you really should have asked him how he knew he liked girls without trying a guy. He even went as far as to ask crazy hypotheticals. If I was your age, would you date me? What about if I was a woman? I kept declining. This is where he started getting a bit obsessive. Mike told me he was considering becoming a woman, and I was just kind of like, you do you. He asked if I would date him then, and when I said no, he said, I guess I won't do it then, because what would be the point? A few days later, he said he wished I had an identical twin so he could date her, which I responded with, it would still be illegal. He got upset and said, so if you had a twin and I dated her, you'd call the cops because of a small age difference? Along with other things. I blocked him after this. What's weird about this whole thing is that he never tried anything in real life. I saw him every Saturday and he'd flirt with me a bit, but never showed any interest, and he wouldn't say the sort of things he said in text. The whole situation was strange to me. Anyway, he hasn't been back at bowling since the Winter League started, and I'm hella glad. You know how a guy will get really into everything a girlie likes is into? Like Christian with Sailor Moon? Well, this is the extreme version. Oh, you like girls? I will become a woman. Oh, you still don't want me? Never mind then. Yeah, it's very transparent. Also, I know someone's going to tell me the age gap wasn't that bad. Yeah, I know. This next story is from the same subreddit. How I ended up dating a nice guy. So I'm 18 female in my last year of high school and I'm taking classes from my local college as well. While in one of my classes at the college, I met this guy. He was a little strange but seemed really nice, friendly, and down to earth. I think he was about 2 years older than me. We exchanged numbers and began texting pretty regularly and would talk in class all the time. He had everything in common with me, from our favorite movie to our restaurant orders. It was really nice to have someone with the same likes and dislikes as me. We started hanging out on and off campus, going on walks, out to eat and stuff. It was nice. One thing that I thought was strange was that he always called me pet names like Hun and Sweetie and stuff, but I brushed it off as him just being friendly. He then told me he was catching feelings for me, to which I said I just wanted to take things slow because I didn't want a relationship at the time. I thought about it for a few days. He wasn't exactly physically attractive to me, but I really liked that we had a lot of stuff in common and he seemed really nice. I decided to give him a chance, and a few days later he did ask me out again, and I said yes. Things started off okay, but quickly got weird. He would text me non-stop, every minute of the day, and would get upset or worried if I didn't respond pretty much immediately. He would always say things like how he was going to take such good care of me, not be like my past relationships, etc. I thought it was sweet, but also a little strange. Then he started talking about us moving in together and what we would do in the future, such as couple tattoos and whatnot. Keep in mind we had only been dating for maybe a week or two. I told him again that I wanted to take things slow and just see how things went for now. Well, fast forward to our first date. I had asked him many times what he would like to do, where he would like to go, etc. He never decided on anything. So I planned out a day with some things we could do together, such as go out for dinner, to record shops. He was obsessed with records, and such. He agreed. He told me his parents didn't want him using their car or something, so I ended up having to drive us everywhere, which I wouldn't have minded, but we ended up driving over an hour there and back, not to mention all the shops and stuff. I probably drove about 3 to 4 hours that day or more. During the date, he was always talking over me or interrupting me to the point where I just stopped initiating conversation. This was only about 3.5 weeks into the relationship. A few days later, everything went to shit. I was having dinner with my family and my phone was blowing up. So after dinner I checked and there were about 20 missed texts from him in the span of about 5 minutes. He was freaking out because apparently one of my exes liked an Instagram post of mine. I hadn't even noticed. I tried to ask him why he was so upset and generally just reason with him. It turned into him degrading and insulting me. I was literally so confused because this violent, mean side of him came out of nowhere. He was saying things like, I better be able to fucking trust you, and putting me down / making fun of me for having social anxiety. Which I do have very severely, which was something I shared with him in confidence, and just generally being an asshole. I'll link some of the texts here, but ultimately after a night of fighting I broke up with him. Since then he's been blocked on all my social media, and I don't interact with him when I see him on campus. What a time. Some texts. I've already spoken enough times about this blowing up on someone who didn't answer you for a half hour. What's weird about this one is how many times they did typical date activities as friends and everything was fine. But the second you call it a first date, this guy just scrambles to start talking over her constantly. Complete change in character for no good reason. Shall we read some texts? Why did blank like your pic? Are you guys talking? Hello? I mean, he apologized and stuff for what he did in the past, but we aren't really talking or friends or anything. When did he apologize? Yesterday. What did he say? And are you guys talking at all? Being this insecure is a very attractive trait, of course. You need to understand this, blank. I've been fucked over so many goddamn times, and I don't want that happening with you. It's gonna take a little bit for me to get used to this. I have bad trust issues, and I'm learning to trust again. But it's hard. I'm gonna be honest, it's real fucking hard. Yeah, so now not only is he being a controlling asshole, but he's trying to make her feel bad over it. Preposterous. So I'm going to ask if we're okay and all that shit, and if that makes you anxious, I'm sorry, but that's just me. If you can't handle it, I'm sorry, but I don't know if we could work out. This is a two-way street here. I help you out, you help me and all that. But it's pretty hard to even communicate with you because you just randomly go silent, and it makes me anxious because I'm not in full trust yet. Alright, there's more of this, but I think you get the idea. Someone being really controlling honestly bothers me a lot because I like to do whatever I want all the time. But it's one of those things. It's a trait that they're careful to cover up at the beginning and slowly get worse about as they reveal their true nature. Alright, let's read a bit more and then wrap this video up. These are from an old Ask Reddit thread. Starting to not remember if I've covered these before or not. Do I take the time to type this out? Yeah, I do. Okay, real quick. Basically a guy that I've grown up with and had been friends with since I was 9. His younger sister and I are best friends. Decided one day to turn my bad day around by going into my room. We were roommates at the time. Line every edge of furniture with my favorite candy and tea-light candles. There is a trail of rose petals leading to my bed with a bottle of lotion. I come home after work and run in real quick. Car is full of my friends in the driveway waiting for me to change so we can go to the bar. I walk into my room, process the scene before me. Instantly decide, nope, blew all the candles out, scooped up all the candy in a bowl, placed that in the kitchen. Promptly changed and then left as quickly as possible. I still cringe from time to time thinking about that. If, like these Redditors, you want to know the outcome, he was not happy. He wrote me a very long email that he handed to me on his tablet as I went to take a bath. I didn't really know what to say / do. I would personally keep the grand romantic gestures to people you're already dating. It's a good rule of thumb. I'm not a woman, but I did observe a nice guy in the wild. I used to work a delivery job when I was younger that involved driving around the local area delivering blueprints, mainly to city offices. One day I make a delivery to City Hall, which had an incredibly beautiful /friendly /petite 20-something receptionist working the front desk regularly. As I'm walking up to her to give her my daily delivery, some creepy-looking male coworker who resembled Judge Doom with a ponytail is sneaking up behind her, like a cartoon villain, holding a humongous bag filled with $20 of food from Carl's Jr. Hardee's for those of you back east. And a bucket-sized cup of soda in the other hand. As she turns around to get me my pickup, she gets startled since she didn't know he was standing directly behind her, after which he replied with, "I heard you tell so-and-so that you didn't have lunch today, so I got you something to eat." She nervously laughed it off and said, thanks, but my boyfriend already came by and brought me something. And his head sunk down as she sidestepped him to grab what she had to give me. After she walked out of earshot, he dumped the small feast in the trash and mumbled, "bitch," while lurching back to his desk. I just like the imagery in that one. To finish this video, have you ever heard of Russell Grier? He is, of course, the prolific author of Why I Sued Taylor Swift and How I Became Falsely Known as Frivolous, Litigious, and Crazy. Holy shit, does he really call this a heartwarming story? Well anyway, this is possibly the nicest guy in the world. Let's look at the post that he was discovered from. Well, this was my first and last time going to a strip club. Gave the stripper flowers, a tip, bought her drinks, was kind to her, and she blocked me. What the fuck? Yeah, it's kind of hard to comprehend, honestly. Let me know if you'd like more about this guy. There's a lot more, but he's pretty likely to sue anyone who talks about him. Joke's on him if he thinks I have any money. Alright, that's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking. Also, comment if you have anything to say about any of the stories, and remember to subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I really appreciate the support. I'll shout out patrons next time. I have some plans. Classic Something Awful for the next video because I have a pretty good nice guy / creep story from back in the day that I think people will appreciate. Anyway, short outro today because I have another video to start work on. Have a great day, everyone, and for the love of God, just stop hitting on lesbians, nice guys. It's not gonna work.